Well, one, use detox, get the oil, get the buildup out. And two, you're gonna have to sand it down to like 500, and then go back up. Well, you'd actually, or depending on how beat up they are, you'd probably sand it with 1,000. You're gonna put Powell over the top of that.
Straight on top of that.
Straight on top of it. Because you want to keep the RA value underneath the polish.
Right. So what about the detox? If I don't do the detox, it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but if they're not totally beat up, yeah, you sand it with 1,000. Are you gonna do it on a ball screen or on a machine?
I'll probably go up with a Haas machine.
A Haas machine, yeah.
So I put it on 1,000, and then put the polish on.
Put power right on top of that. So that's why I balls do it. Because we have more left in the socket. Right. And then nobody else does that. We screw them out and then dry. We actually put the shine on top of the surface.
Right, because that gives you teeth on it.
To make them big.
Hold up on your warm-up. Once again, it's 4 games. You guys are all starting from 0. Right lane's going right, left lane's going left. Skipping 3 pairs, bowling on the 4th. If you like to get into brackets or the high game pot, now is your last chance to get into that pot. The progressive, if you're in that pot, is 5,180. Good luck.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached Sunday at the Agent Ong Open, the trilogy. That means at some point today and really late this afternoon into the early evening, someone will leave this building with $10,000 and a very, very heavy championship belt.
Or more, because Theo just announced that pot at an extra $5 grand, 5,100, almost 5,100 or something.
The progressiveness has grown over time as well.
There's some growth to it, so yeah, it could get to 15K if you're in that particular category.
So we get you started with the cashers round, and it's a good time to update you on the format if you are unfamiliar at this point. So we had 7 qualifying squads of 6 games. 1 Desperado squad last night to be eligible for the Desperado, which was a 2-game shootout. High score advanced. There was only 1 spot available because there was only 9 entries, which is still shocking to me.
Which was, yeah, so, and just to throw onto that, it was 1 and 8, and you and I had chatted thinking that there'd probably be 20 people, so we're guessing we're going to get 2, but yeah, that wasn't a thing.
So 1 spot that was won by Anthony James. He is here, of course, bowling. We learned that his nickname is Pink. Definitely not Tony, as Mom said.
Shout out,
commented.
Shout out to Pink, or P-Dog.
A lot of folks were watching last night, as we talked about, including the James family, so we appreciate that.
Shout out.
So with that said, we had 54 bowlers on the lanes. Everyone who bowled, he had opportunity to bowl 1 squad. You could have bowled multiple. Certainly many took advantage of bowling multiple. If they needed to shoot a better score, they tried their luck.
Absolutely.
If they posted a very good score that would have gotten them in, they felt, then they may have bowled for some other opportunities, side pots, brackets, etc. Make a little extra change.
Doubles.
crisscross doubles, which is very popular, by the way, as well as there's a ton of ways to make money outside of the main field, if you will, if you don't win the 10K. With that said, we're underway in front of you with 9 through 12. Of course, we got 13 through 16. We'll take our periodic look down at 5 through 8.
I think the best thing to say right now is the fact that everybody is at 0.
Correct.
So that is the uniqueness of this event. It's not a format that all tournaments use, and the fact of like we kept talking about all week getting to this point, you had to punch your ticket to the dance. But we're back at 0. All the pins drop, and everyone is at the same starting block.
So what took place, if you were to look at the standings, and I would give them to you, but I don't want you to be confused. So I'd rather tell you that there were multiple duplicates, like we just talked about. You could have bowled more than one time. You could have bowled every squad if you wanted to. But because of that, like a Kyle Troop, for example, had what would have been 2 cut advancing scores.
Yeah, but there's only one of him.
In the top 54, he only needs 1. So there ended up being 7 duplicate names. 2 of those names were actually just below would have been the 54th spot. That elevated, of course, other players who were below the number. And Warren Eels ended up being actually 54th at minus, what was Warren?
45?
Minus 54,
55.
Actually.
Yeah.
It was 54th, the number, and he was minus 54.
I was giving a hard time this morning. I go,
it never
lucky.
works out like that.
He goes, oh, I'm lucky. He goes, I'm not saying I'm not. He goes, I was just, he goes, I knew it was going to be close, and he goes, people around here just like me. They let the number come. They let the number come down to me. I'm like, yep, typical Warren. I love that guy.
So Warren got in. Mike Jones III got in. Mr. 876. Brad Erickson got in. Of course, Bob Wiley, another senior player, got in. And Cortez Shank.
Yeah.
Also got in as well, which now that's a danger right there. You let Cortez in the field.
Yeah, and again, like you talked about, because again, as we referenced during his squads, right? Or he's not been bowling a ton, so it was during that 6 games that kind of got his feet under him, got a little tempo, got a little touch, and yeah, I think you're spot on. I think look out, because he could be dangerous today.
And the same could be said for certainly all 54 players, especially when the pins drop.
Especially me and you, because we talked about it. We're getting in. We're jumping in.
We are getting in.
We gave ourselves a qualifying bye, is what me and E talked about.
So what did we say? So 7 squads at 6 games. That's 42 plus a 2-game Desperado.
Yeah.
44. So we had 44 games of warm.
Yeah.
I think we can handle 1 game.
Yeah. Good
morning to everybody who was checking in. Please share if you have not. Go ahead and let folks know we're up early, certainly in this time zone, and working into the afternoon, of course, elsewhere where the Rams are. Your request was fulfilled. You found someone to put that game on.
So I went up and saw JJ. I said, "Hey, dog." I said, "Any chance you get football on?" He goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "I already put it on." I go, and he looked at it. He goes, "Oh, shoot." He goes, "I always do that." He goes, "I meant to put NFL Network on there, but he had MLB Network." He's just excited about baseball and what's cooking there, right? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, no, he flipped it over, and I said, it's not much of a game. I said it was just that my fantasy apps were dinging this morning already when I woke up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot the international game.
There's one of those or 2 of them. It seems like now every week.
Yep.
NFL not messing around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it feels like Jacksonville is always playing in London.
Yeah, and
move.
Well, that's actually the reason why, right? It's been proposed that they actually play their home games internationally. The NFL has been in discussions for that for a while.
Well, what about the good people of Jacksonville?
I totally understand, but there's also rumors that there could be some other franchises moving, kind of like baseball and other sports, as we've seen over the years, right? Based on franchise and supportability, and would they consider moving it? In Jacksonville, it has been discussed. There has been legal discussions for that. I don't know that it happens, honestly, because again, it's a whole nother market. We could talk sports all day. I'm a sports nut, and that whole thing. But
Well,
so
appreciate
that's
you,
the reason why it feels like, man, Jacksonville's always there. Well, there's a reason for that.
At least once a year. I feel like the last 5 seasons.
And was it last year? They played twice. Played 2 games over there. I think they might have played 2 there this year too. So.
Intriguing stuff. All right, appreciate you educating me on
a little
that.
food for thought.
And Mr. Steve, so from this 54, they cut to 24.
Facts.
Top 24 advance to match play. The top 8 from this round will receive a first round bye in match play, and then we'll start with seed number 9 in the first round. 9 versus 24. The highest seed remaining in each round will bowl the lowest seed remaining in each round. But we'll talk more about that, of course, once we get to match play.
There. But before that,
yeah,
we've got 3 games and 6 frames.
So talk to me, Schlemer.
Talk to me, Goose. What do you got?
All right, so we were, not necessarily foreshadowing, but certainly thinking about, like we do, what could take place today with the knowledge that those who certainly scored well would be bowling today. Those who maybe took a few more squads to get that game plan just right enough to advance to today. And so you now feel like you have 54 players. I won't say everyone knows exactly what they're doing, right? Because there's always some subtle variables in our sport, as you know, right? It's a different day, same oil pattern, but it's going to play slightly different. We all know that.
Absolutely.
But with a similar game plan across the board, how do you think the lanes will shape, specifically transition? There's only 4 games and some really good players now all bowling at one time.
And I think we're already seeing it, right? Those who had a mindset or a philosophy of what got them here, maybe they were fortunate enough to get a one and done, or they figured it out kind of quick in the second. They only took 2. And you're right, we do see some strategy. Seemingly the straight is the play. I don't know though necessarily. Kennedy's down here on 3 and 4. I don't see a ton of people playing out today. I see everybody more in the track area seemingly, but I also, just like every other squad, like you got some people that are kind of figuring out they're hitting the pocket, and then you get some people trying to play that zone that they're not consistently hitting the pocket, right? So you see some clean games and you see some already difficult scores, if you will, if you put that in perspective. The same, and that's a good pitch there from
Jeremy
McElliott, because he led the squad yesterday morning?
Two mornings ago.
2 mornings ago. He's doing similar, looks like to be a different ball. But in that same type of zone, right? Like looks like to be a solid something. Again, he's throwing reactive, right? And that black and silver looks like a track ball. I don't know which one it is.
Paragon
Shadow or something.
Yes.
That's what he used a couple mornings ago, but he also created, he wasn't swinging it, but he had a bigger, a little bit wider angle, as in, he could kind of bump it right a little bit, but still doing that tumbling over in. But again, he's got the same plan of attack. And same thing with Kyle here, right? Kyle led his squad the other day about a lot, and then he bowled last night, and I think that was one thing we wanted to touch upon. He was only like +8 or +9 for his squad, and it wasn't like he wasn't trying. He's like, there was no way I was getting to what I got to the other day. So he's also doing the same thing. He's got fast pitch. He's playing in that track zone. I think that's just going to be. That seems to be the way across the house here. As we're looking, you look at the scores down this way to our right. Again, a handful of clean games. It's going to be interesting because it's still a mindset thing. You don't want to get caught pressing, but you do have in the back of the head going, man, I've only got 4 games,
right?
And I got to get into the top 24.
Talk about how easy that is to press immediately.
Yeah, and so I think if you're honest with yourself, I think you can give yourself 1 game that maybe is your under par game, right? I think you can come back from like a 160 or a 170, but you want to make sure your other 3 are 190 or above. I think is a fair assessment.
Emil Williams Jr., Chris Schlemer here with you. We will have been here with you. We will take you through certainly all the way to our championship
We're taking you on
finals.
a ride today, folks.
We got a ride, and it's going to be a little bumpy.
Roller coaster of fun.
Match play is always a question mark.
7-10.
Yeah, interesting for McElliott, and shout out to Lakeisha Hale watching and checking in on Keyshawn Johnson. I give Keyshawn a lot of credit too, because he did not bowl well yesterday morning. Reset. Someone told him, I was talking to him afterwards, and he had got some notes or some texts, and they were saying, "Man, who's that young man with the ASU bowling jersey, but didn't have his name on the back of his jersey?" So he said his brother went home, and he was going to stay around here. Asked him to bring his jersey with his name on it.
So we knew who he was.
So
Shout out to that.
everyone knew in the building.
And again, it's not.
And he bowled fantastic.
Well, and maybe he should have implemented that today.
He bowled
He
fantastic.
could have put his name on, but and that's the fun part of, and E, as you know, traveling around doing what you do with this, meeting all the people and learning names. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the names and all the people, and even when you come to, seemingly when you as we have already discussed, this is Chicago West.
This is Chicago West.
You come out this way, and you know most people some way, shape, or form from Chicago. But you still don't know everybody's name, right? So, yeah, no, it's, shout out to that. I mean, that's good thinking.
Well, the best part about Keyshawn was I saw a video of him, maybe a month ago, and I saw it circulating around, the Chicago group that I know. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's Keenan Johnson's son, or K-Smooth as we call him, right? But in person, I had never met him, seen him actually in person.
So did you give him the old guy? You're like, you don't know me, but I know your dad.
No, I did. I went up
Nice.
to him, introduced myself after the squad, and told him, yeah, me and your dad used to bowl junior league. And he said, oh, you know my dad. And I said, yes, we are those people now.
He's
where
like,
we go up and say,
am from
I know your dad.
Chicago.
All right, so Keyshawn, Chad Lucci, Aaron Yamamoto on 11 and 12. Dylan Taylor, Josh Malloy, who impressed me yesterday with what he was able to do. And Jeremy McElliott on 9 and 10. And then on 13 and 14, speaking of names, we just about know everybody's name now because we watched them bowl multiple times. Cesar Padilla, Sean Noshbush,
And Warren Eels.
Warren Eels. 13 and 14, Tim Smith, Ryan Howard, and Bob Wiley.
Yep.
On 7 and 8, we got Wesley Lowe, Kyle Troop, Michael Haugen Jr.
Yep.
5 and 6, I see Kyle Duster, Alex Lindahl, and I believe Jonathan Orozco, the 14-year-old.
Yep.
By the way, who's going to take home some Smart Scholarship. Don't know the amount yet because he's got plenty of work to do to get that. I like Dylan Taylor's game. I always have. But on this, where, again, if everyone's kind of making that move toward the track, he was there yesterday, like already around 15.
Correct.
And he is speed dominant.
Yep.
And so he didn't have to fight the front of the lane like everyone else did.
Well, speed dominant and with his ball roll, too,
Yeah.
right? He can, as we would say, as we would reference to, is type of like a twirl. Look at this guy. God love him.
My man.
Jeff Krause, shout out Crate Bar, sponsored the event. He's just dropping us some goodies. The cool dude that he is.
Now that's
yeah.
a sponsor right there.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, Dylan, anyway, his tilt and ball roll, right? It helps. So not only speed, but also the fact that his ball is on a different axis rotation, it allows it to retain and stay on line longer, is what that is. Pretty good pitch there from Chandler.
Great pitch. First time I saw Chad was at the New Mexico Open. Steve Mackey would always refer to him and the very Steve Mackey, only the way Steve Mackey could do it is Uncle Fest every time. That was their running joke together.
Yes, and shout out to Steve Mackey. The guy has did a lot for bowling. It's good to see that they're finally going to enjoy life a little bit after selling the bowling center and doing the whole thing. But yeah, I remember meeting him. It goes back to my ladies' tour days, right? Like back in the late '90s, he was working with AMF at the time.
Yep.
Remember the AMF World Cup we had in Virginia? Yeah, just overall good guy.
Oh, that's got a hook.
Wow. Bang.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Nice job. Well done.
How'd I do?
That wasn't bad.
I was shout out to Jeff Baker because he's like, hey, tell Emil to get that bang in there. I'm like, well, he hasn't really thrown one in there. I'll just kickstart the day. We'll get it in there.
It's a feel out process. So you got to feel it out.
I don't want to steal your thunder though. I don't want to steal that
Yeah, don't
tag.
steal it. Yeah, but I appreciate you.
Hey, maybe I'll hit it with a boom shakalaka or something, right? You know, because I'm
we
old.
can work with that.
We've been sharing some old stuff.
We can work with that.
Ring a ding ding.
I was a little surprised though that ball hooked though. Seriously.
Yeah, these guys. Well, these guys use quite a bit of surface, and again, they're in that track area. They're all using stronger balls, right? So the ball Aaron's throwing is a Equinox Solid, which is a cleaner cover. It's a solid, but there's no nano in it. So it's a big, heavy rolling mid lane. It's asymmetric, very heavy rolling. Chad's actually, I believe he's throwing a Iron Max. So that's big engine, big cover, big footprint, a lot of flare, right? So it's rounded. So they're kind of chewing that spot open. So again, fast forwarding, those who come to this pair next, if they're using Thane playing Schroeder, it's going to be squirrely for them. Those, as we're seeing a few playing in and chasing it left, they'll be able to kind of, I shouldn't say they're not going to be able to step left and wheel it, but they'll be able to move left and open the lane up because those guys have carved it from the start.
Other scores around us, and the scoring pace today, right, this morning is the most important scoring pace that we've had all weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it is a race to 4, and you got to be in the top 24. So that's more than half of the field that will be eliminated after this 4-game set.
Yeah, see that one peeled back from way out there. But again, not quite on line. It wasn't a quality shot there.
Nice crew rolling in. Again, appreciate all of you for watching and supporting Bowlstream TV in its inception. Original founder, Craig Elliott, my guy.
Shout out.
And then moving on, of course, to me in 2021, and we continue to grow. So thank you for helping me get to 10,000 subscribers this weekend. A large part of that due to, of course, the great bowlers here. Carl, obviously.
I feel bad that we didn't have confetti poppers and hats and stuff.
It worked out the way that I was hoping it would. Meaning that it would happen during the action match.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
And so we could just kind of keep tabs on it as the action match is going because that was so great.
Okay. All right.
Right? And so, you kind of get a 2-for-1 there.
All right now.
And now what I didn't expect was Carl to make an announcement, like a final announcement, thanking everybody in the building for watching. And he knew, of course, about the possible 10K, and so
it kind of happened within minutes.
Asked, literally, hey, what was the update? Or was telling people to subscribe, and then I checked it, and it was literally 10,001.
Yep.
That's the kind of cool
then
stuff.
I made reference to it. Your eyes did water up. You did tear up. He's denying it in full capacity.
I really don't remember that. But I'm not going to.
It was a really cool moment to be part of, and yeah, man, we're everybody in the bowling world. We are happy for you, man. This is you've dedicated, like you said, you acquired it, been working on it, and that's definitely a milestone and a good feat. Proud of you for that, dude.
Thank you, sir. Just a quick look over next door. I wanted to check a few scores over there. We will go over the prize fund today too. That was just handed to us by Mr. Carl Ong, the founder. He and his wife Kathy put in a lot of time and work and effort, and he's always, and as he lets you know every time he's on the stream, with regard to.
Oh yeah, we had the final boss. She I think she's still working on figuring out where she wants her suitcase to go. If this does go into traveling mode.
I see Dallas Leong is already waiting to bowl. Looks like he's looking at 7 and 8 and 9 a turn, so he's going to be on here.
Kyle Troop with a 180 out of the gate here, folks.
Interesting. I see somebody with a lot of strikes down on 3 and 4, by the way. It is possible, folks, that some of your favorite bowlers, may not advance to match play. Like there's no gimmies here. There's no automatics.
Oh, not at all.
Right. So there's work to do for every single player here, and we don't have 3 and 4, but I got to check out what's happening there. Real quick over to Haugen, who is finishing up. Michael got his spot he bowled at during squad 7. and said he was going to get up out of here, get some rest. He had about an hour drive to where he was staying, and we both related to the, you get back to your room and then there's that unwind period, right? You're a little wound up, so you got to just relax. Maybe don't go to sleep instantly. Sometimes I do, though, just based on sheer exhaustion.
Yeah, just depending. I'm right there with you, man. When you work events for an extended period, right? Like sometimes just the exhaustion. You're like, oh, you have your like routine of how you wind down and do things. I'm guilty like everybody else. I fall into the trap of social media at times, and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna stay for a few minutes. The next thing you know, it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, I need to go to bed. But then there's times where, you know, as soon as you click on the old book face or something like that, and next thing you know, you're waking up and you got your phone in your hand, like you doze off as soon as you click it on. Like, oh yeah, we need to go to bed. Close our eyes, do the thing. Who's that with the string up there on top?
That's what I was waiting
Kennedy?
on. It's either Josh
Mr.
Kennedy. It is Kennedy. It's Josh, man. That dude can play, bro. Halligan's going to be in the 190s. That was Wesley Lowe who shot 211. Chad shot 211. Keyshawn, I think he got to 177. Keyshawn missed a single pin, unfortunately, 10th frame.
Yep.
And then further again to our right. 172 from Sean Noshbush. He missed a couple of spares late. Jeremy McElliott, man,
Warren, Warren's looking at knocks us down. Warren's looking at a 180.
Okay.
And then who's the other gentleman on the pair? Can't think.
Cesar?
Yeah, Cesar. He needs a couple here and get to 190s, but
Well, here's Bob Wiley. Again, one of the top, not just senior players, but really area players.
that's a pretty good pitch right there.
Had a chance to know him a little bit more and just see him bowl, of course, being here pretty often in Phoenix.
Ooh, that was brutal. He threw the back four to get to 160.
Yeah, that's
But that obviously could have been a lot worse. You look at it that way.
that right.
You catch a four-bagger for
still
160.
got a chance, you feel like, with that.
Exactly, and that's what I just said, right? Like your damage. You know, I like as I mentioned before, you got 4 games, and you know it's a sort of sprint, but you don't want to get in that mindset. But is he in the 240s, Mr. Kennedy?
Oh yeah,
Mr. Kennedy.
he strike to get him to 259.
Wow. You know, it's one of those deals. I think, like I said, that game you can have that one. I think 160, 170 ish. You can dig out of. I don't know that you can have 2 of those.
Not without the, as you said, the extra games.
Correct. See, yeah, it seems we're only, you know, you got 4. Here we are, we're finishing game 1. That means we got 3 more to go. We are a quarter of the way through the race.
Cesar,
Cedeno.
that's a very nice save for 190.
Yeah, huge save. Huge. That was a good pitch.
Meanwhile, Dylan Taylor, this is right up Dylan Taylor's alley. Jeremy McElliott, 221 again. Every time I call his name. Now, that's someone that we haven't clouded.
You see it right there. Don't talk about him.
I know.
No.
He was telling me, like in the Paragon Shadow, he had about 1,000, but he didn't throw that ball that game.
Let's ask him right quick.
Hey, Jeremy. Effect tour. Okay. Get up or spin down.
Cesar got to 196, and Dylan's going to need to make the spare to get to 214.
I don't know if you caught all that right there. Did you hear any of that?
No, I wanted to wait till you brought it to the air.
Okay. Yeah, he mentioned, I asked him, he said, oh, effect tour. And he also, for that, he said he went pin up as opposed to pin down. And so in reference to that, folks, the thought process behind going to pin up, not because it makes it go longer, it's because when you drill balls pin up, they tumble more. They go more end over end. And so that is what he's doing in the game. Yeah, when you drill balls pin down, they're more continuous. You raise the RG, you make them continue better. When you drill them pin up, he's giving me a look. So think about. Let me show you here.
No, this could be a mind blown
Look
type
at
of
look at it. Look at
light bulb
I'm
situation.
putting the
going
pin
on
above my fingers. Look where my holes are going.
Right, right.
Now I'm putting the pin below my fingers. Look where my holes are going. See where that core's positioned now,
So
as opposed to this way.
finish your point first. Finish that.
So for what he's seeing, right? You
Yeah.
know, he's got a little surface on that ball, pin up, so he can get it to tumble forward.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you run the risk of a sharper change of direction or a straighter angle because it is tumbling forward, right? Because you're drilling basically into the side of the core as opposed to putting your hand over the top of it.
So I saw you yesterday or sometime within the week explaining or having a conversation with a player about layouts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you did the same thing. What you didn't see there, folks, was
I took the
he
Starbucks
basically
cup.
used his cup, put his, do his middle ring up
Use a
top,
straw as a pin.
thumb, right,
Yep.
and then move the cup in relation to where the pin should be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like, and some may in the chat may say, okay, I've heard this before too. If you drill something pin up, it's supposed to, not supposed, but the likelihood of it is it should retain more energy, yada, 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 right? I've heard this a gazillion times.
Correct, and that's what we as an industry, that's why at Storm we have things cooking that we're going to change the game for one, but for two, it's always been a thing, right? And you think about it going back to, well, I can tell you, in trying to build certain reactions, and the granted things change quite a bit whenever the balance hole rule was eliminated. So you can't think about it then. If you have a example, we're using stuff here actually. Yeah, we'll see if we can get a camera on this, right?
Do we need a ball? Want to use a house ball?
No, I'm good. I'll show you. We'll see if we can get Starbucks to support the tournament and support you.
All right. Let's hold on here. Let's see what we got. Hold on a second. Do Sunday. I'm still singing that.
Attaboy. I like it. I like that for you. Just let me know when your first music drops on Apple Music or CD.
Okay. All right, you're on the left corner of the screen.
I am? Okay.
Yes.
We got this. Can I
Yeah,
see?
here's
Okay.
you.
All right. So I think the big thing, as I'm talking about, folks, so imagine the straw being your pin, right? And so we're putting the pin above, and again, where you position this core, you're putting holes into the side of this. Because look, the pin is up above my fingers, right? Say it's above here. So we're putting a thumb into the side or fingers into the side, and wherever you kick this. Now, when we had back in the day with the weight holes, think about that type of layout. Okay, well, what we're doing is we're eliminating some of the mass off the side of the weight block inside. Well, then where do you put that balance hole to push mass to a different direction, right? And so now, without the luxury of balance holes, you really have to look at core position. And like I said, think about it as you're seeing this. Pin, make it pin up. We're putting our holes here, right? I'll make sure I raise this high enough, right? We're putting our holes here, so we're drilling on the side of it. Now look what happens when I bring this pin underneath my fingers. See what I'm drilling into? I'm drilling around the top of it. So what happens is we're helping elongate that mass. We're raising the RG. So what happens is we make the ball more continuous more often than not. Again, it all depends on your PAP and where you position the core. But general physics, when you're in this position, think about it. You see it right here. The pin is in my hand. I'm drilling over the top of this cup, as opposed to now we're going to put a pin up.
That would be the pin and palm right there?
In that window,
Kinda,
right?
okay.
Yeah. Inside your hand,
Okay.
right? And so, think about it. I've got my fingers and thumb going around the top of this cup, as opposed to now we're going to flip that pin up. Now we're putting everything to the side. And again, it's all based on core shapes, and everybody makes unique designs. Doesn't matter if it's just, SPI, the Brands of Brunswick, or Motive, you know what I'm saying? And so, so.
I got to tell you, Schlemer. I don't bowl much anymore. We talk about that all the time. The viewers know.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bowl Stream or Home on Bowl TV, you always talk about what league or what I don't bowl.
Yeah.
That right there just instantly said, I want to go drill something and go practice.
Yep.
You just unlocked that for me.
Yep. Yeah, I know, and I think that's like I said, whenever back in the day when we had the use of balance holes, because then you could put it inside your VAL, put it on your VAL, pass your VAL. You could use an 1 1/4 hole, 3 inches deep. So think about that. Now you're moving more mass around. We don't have that playground anymore. So now we really have to focus on RGs, diffs, core placement to start to make the ball do the right thing. As I like to tell people, you want to lay out balls to make them create a motion or a shape. What are you trying to build? And then you use the cover as a fine-tuning device to either make it sooner or later. Because if you drill it, put the corner spot to do a certain thing, say early, you don't have as much versatility in adjusting the cover to get it to where you want it to be.
Well, I know one of my new extra calls that I don't normally call people, and people offer, just no, there's no offer of anything per se, but more of a, hey, if you ever have a question, give me a shout. You have told me that
Absolutely,
all over the industry, right?
Yeah.
When I see Steve Klumpkin all the time, he says the exact same thing.
Yep.
I'm going to call you.
Absolutely, man.
Because
that's
that right there was fantastic.
And then you get beyond that, right? And that's what's cool about the innovation department coming at Storm Products with Hank leading the charge there, and Alex. It's going to be an expanded version of our R&D. And I will tell you, there is, those guys have built some. We've been doing a lot of testing. There's a lot of cool stuff in the process, and even more that I haven't even been privy to yet, right? So it's a never-ending process. That's what's cool about our game, is it's a never-ending process. Whether you're on the technical side, we never stop learning. And if you put your bowling shoes on, and that's what I tell bowlers all the time, all day, every day. Every time you put your shoes on, doesn't matter how great you are, you're always learning something new. And the legends of the game, the Hall of Famers, the greatest to ever do it, will tell you the same thing. Every time they put their shoes on, they learn something new. Speaking of learn something new, we've got some new folks in front of us, so we've got some different plans of attack. We've got some decent starts to this game too.
Once the standings are up, and Theo actually is right now down on lanes 3 and 4 making the walk to grab scores, I will update you, and then we'll save room on the screen to update those in real time. Let me throw the pinned link for you right now, so you'll have that available. And we want only Sunday at 9 a.m. And this is the last time not the last time, but truly, unless you want to go back and look at standings from previous squads, of course, the roster, side pots, and you're intrigued by that info, it'll be available for you on Tournament
I can't
Bowl.
call him Russell today because he doesn't have the shirt on. I'll call him Dallas. But if you've been paying attention, he's been talking to himself every shot because of where he's trying to play him and what's going on.
Is it different than what he was talking about
different
yesterday?
than where he was, and he's a touch, I think, left of where he was yesterday or the day before. So he's kind of this type of thing will make you talk to yourself. Theo and E are having a quick chat, but right here in front of us, we got Mr. Keith Fung. And again, he's playing a little hook, and again, that's not terrible. Not terrible. And again, it's knowing what the zoner, and he figured it out after a couple shots of where you can play each lane when you get there. Because as I've said, as we've talked about all week long, every lane is an adventure. Even though they're qualified and quantified and they're put together as a pair, doesn't make them exactly the same, right? Every lane is a snowflake, and so making the move and figuring out who figures it out the fastest is going to be the key to this equation. And I've already seen some people jumping in or trying to play in a little bit where they were. Dallas sounded like to be a pretty good pitch, so he liked that one on 9. He's still looking at lane 10. He's going to dissect that one. And again, as he told us, he's going to use what he's learned the last couple of years on the PBA Tour to help get ahead of where he's supposed to be and hopefully finish out that game the way he hopes. Fitzmagic. in the same window. A couple more. And again, it's clear that spot that they're trying to play on the right lane is coming off it way harder than it is on the left lane.
Schlemer, did you tell me to pick the Rams yesterday, or did we talk about that game?
We touch upon it. I will tell you in my.
I think I said I'm stay away from it. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, in my
Never know what happens
ESPN pick'em thing.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I took the Jaguars because that defense looked so stout. And I'm thinking, man, Puka's out.
Oh, that's what it was. Right.
The
We said
Rams
Puka
running
was
game
out.
has kind of been a little sus.
Right.
And yeah, they proved me wrong. Again, like you said, the overseas thing is a weird thing because of the time start and the travel and all the stuff. But yeah. Meanwhile, back at the Batcave.
Yep. Let's see. Stewie over there.
Gabe Alvarez with a pretty good pitch right there. Again, light for a bucket.
He bowled really well too yesterday.
Yep.
Or last night specifically. In squad 7, Lizzie Reese. Lizzie and talked to Clay, her dad, this morning as well. They are huge Utah fans.
Yeah, unfortunately for them.
Utah is in the University of Utah.
Yep.
They're from Utah, of course, live there.
Yeah, I've learned that living there the last 15 years that so it was the rivalry game, right?
Correct.
BYU Utah. But now in the time I've lived there, Utah State's become relevant. Even occasionally Weber State pops in on some stuff.
Nice washout.
Yeah, we got a lot of universities within like a very close pocket there within a couple hours of each other.
He used to call games at Chicago State, and at the time they were in the WAC conference, and Utah Valley was in the WAC, I believe, as well, if I remember correctly. It's a slower response bowling ball that Mr. Fitz is throwing. And Keith Fong, Jessica Nosbos, that's still my sleeper.
Yeah.
She's bowled well despite this one game, and that's because she almost had an accident with regard to just going over the foul line, but she caught herself. A great balance. Paul Younce, I tell you, I remember watching the first game from Paul. I don't know if it was squad 1 or squad 2. It was not going well, man. He threw a couple in the channel, but here he is, wheeling it. And he's been wheeling it all week, but he's finally figured out, right, just over time. And that's the key I was talking about, like when you bowl squads, the mindset that you have to have. If you're going to keep putting your money in, right, you've got to put in the mental work too, and obviously the physical work. But, okay, what do I need to do differently? Like, what actually do I need to do? And he's getting what I believe to be his A game after watching him now for multiple times to work.
Yeah, he looks pretty comfortable doing that.
Next door, Brandon Matthews, Troy Blickenstaff. They're at the bottom right corner of your screen. Alex Lindahl, Riley Woodard has advanced, of course, to today. Blair, is it Blair? Right?
Yep.
Kappas?
Yep.
And who else do I see over there? I think Wesley Lowe. Did I see Matt Jones, Brianna Cote? Looks like Jeremy McElligott. That's on a pair together. That's a pretty good cross right now. And down on 5 and 6, Sean Finch, who was resting up at the saloon last night. We missed his message. He was resting his, I think he fell on his knee yesterday. He was resting that up and getting himself prepared today against Sean Noshbush, Cesar Padilla, and then Keyshawn Johnson went down to 3 and 4 with Chad Lucci and
Bob Smith.
Robert Smith. Chris Stewie Stewart. Oh. Wow, great shot, 9-pin, and we welcome into the booth for the first time today the founder of this wonderful tournament, Carlo.
Founding father, not the final boss.
Big difference.
Hola, senor.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
We are great. It's fantastic watching. We're almost through 50% of the sprint here this morning to see who's going to make this top 24.
We are. You brought up Finch resting his knee. He comes into, just a quick little story. He comes in the tournament desk and tells Theo and I, can you make sure you avoid the pair that I fell on? And I said, well, can you tell me what pair that is? And he starts naming 4 pairs. I said, I think that's a you problem. I don't think that's an approach problem.
That ain't an us problem. That sounds like a you
That sounds
problem.
like a you problem. I go, check your shoes?
Something.
Stop walking into the restroom, wet stole? I have no idea what's going on. And then he just kind of looked at us like, that's fair.
Hey, at least he's all right with it. Okay.
I think you're the only person that's fallen, but yet you've fallen now on 4 different pairs. Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. My results not work today? Today's Sunday, right?
Still.
Yes.
Yeah, we got nothing cooking there.
I tried both 9 a.m.s. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me. I'll try a different one just to make.
Nope.
Okay, maybe it's. Hold on. So maybe it's the as of. Let me do the as of or the up to.
Nope.
So the as ofs are working, but the only Sunday or any only. Yep. Okay. So the older ones are working.
All right,
One
so
moment, please.
bear with us, folks, as we try to locate the scoreboard.
All good. No
in the
worries.
meantime, we've got some bowling cranking.
Plenty of bowling.
We got plenty of the rock tossing happening.
Looking staff doing a good job today. He actually was really good. He and Jessica Northbush. Go ahead. What you got?
We're doing hand signals and something going on here, folks.
Ah, got it. You're right. Thank you, good people. The old cashier's tab.
What do we got here? 13 and 14. We got Brandon stepping up here. Again, through as we're getting halfway through game 2, some different plans of attack are really showing through. Again, we've got folks playing straight. We've got folks jumping in and wheeling it,
Got it.
if you will. And again, it's all about the comfort factor and where you think you can collect the pins, right? That's really what's kicking. What's kicking.
Thank you, Richard. It's in the cashier's tab. Forgot about that. It is AOO cashier's tab. So it
Okay.
does work.
I think we're getting there.
That was user error.
We're getting multiple directions, multiple things, all the things.
It's all good.
Brandon is,
Everything is solid.
yeah, we got some clean games going on 13 to 14 here. Just filling frames, and that's really the focus, right? All the way through, as I've talked about. As I mentioned after game 1 there, 160, 170, yeah, you can probably have one of those. I don't know. I mean, if you have 2 of them, you'd have to hope that you catch a 260 to balance it out.
Right.
I don't know that that's out there, even though we've seen those types of games. Although those looking down on 3 and 4, the A bowler on 3 has got a pretty good look.
3 and 4 might be the pair this morning. Based on Josh Kennedy's hot start, 258 for Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy. Yeah, we're seeing some. We're seeing the opens creeping in here for a lot of scoreboards.
Well, early transition here
Around
today,
us.
Schlemer.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, as we've talked about prior to, when you have more people breaking them down together, similar spots, more folks are playing that track area. So I think that's where we're starting to see the spots hook. They're breaking away a little bit faster. And again, lane to lane is the adventure. That's the equalizer. Because you're like, oh, hey, I'm kind of close, and all of a sudden one will break loose on you. And then you'll make a move, and it may continue to hook more. And then the other lane just stays put and doesn't break away yet.
All right, so since I do want to get to the 1 through 20, actually, I think I added 1 through 35. I will wait to the conclusion of this game to put that large screenshot on the screen.
Okay.
But we will tell you, of course, verbally what the deal is. Josh Kennedy plus 58 after 1. Jeremy McElliott and Brett Wolf both shot 221. Lizzie Reese plus 13, or 218, I should say. Someone asked about pins too, by the way.
She bowled 213 and she gets a couple sticks. So yeah, her game is 218.
Pins are in play for the rest of the tournament. Brad Erickson, 216. Dylan Taylor, 214. Landon Carnett, 212. Wesley Lowe, 211, along with Chad Lucci. Jessica Noshbush got to 209. 204 scratch. Tim Smith. Justin Sims, 203. Anthony Simonson, 203. Oh, 4 players shot 203, including Blair Kappas, Josh Brown, and Brandon Cryer, both even. But 24th technically is a 5-way tie after 1 game.
Wow.
5-way tie after 1 game for 24th. And they all shot 191.
Stranger things have happened.
We'll throw that again on the screen. And then also in between games, I saw a couple more questions about, it was like a layout question.
Okay.
And there was another ball-related question. After this game,
that's why we're here.
We'll start the process on those.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Stewie trying to, speaking of saving a game, we've seen a couple players save some games. And some really good players right now, of course, outside of that top 24, Matt Zwei, Cortez Shank, GT2, but they all shot 188, 190. So no one was
Kyle Troop.
They're really out of there.
180.
Yep, Kyle Troop, 180. All right, Stewie with a 3-bagger. Speaking of Dallas, where is Dallas? Dallas shot 186.
And just backed it up with, wait for it, 209.
All right. Big moment here for Fitz.
Fitz magic.
Shot 185. He had a big fist pump last night when he got the first one in the 10th. Basically did lock up a spot, and he knew it. Get some help. Oh my.
Tickle, tickle.
That must have been a blessing from Virginia Young from the Cruise.
Look at him, my
right
man.
there. Oh,
He's got it. He's got the bob. He's got the
smile
strut.
it up.
Hashtag parlay. Hashtag you can't give it back, so you might as well take it.
The brackets also start this game too, so look, that's why he's really smiling. Not just
Hey
playing.
now.
It's, basically, however they come out of this round, that's their seeding for the rest of the tournament. So,
and it's always higher seed
lowest.
versus the lowest seed
Correct.
across the match play, right?
All the way through.
A little better. High flush. Well, you don't ask us, Mike. You got to ask Virginia.
I don't think Virginia cares. She's sailing in the seas.
I bet you she's watching. She may not comment just to say that, to give the impression that she's locked in on the cruise, but she's got an eye to the streets. 224 for Fitz. Very nice game. So 185, 224 for Fitzgerald. Next door, Jessica. Oh, that's a good break. You'd love to just shoot the single pin. I don't know anybody who would rather shoot a 310 as opposed to a 10 pin, but that pin can be tricky. Where's Paul Younts? 183 to start. Ooh, okay. All right, back next door here as players are moving and waiting for their game 3s to start. This is Riley Woodard, who was getting his ball to curve yesterday, but it was on 9 and 10, and he told me he walked back down to get a bowling ball, and he said, "Yep, down there, yeah, can't quite get it to can't quite get it to curve like that." A 150, a 194 on this pair.
Yeah, I remember whenever he was here in front of us, and he had that deep line from in, and you looked at me and you're like, "Is that there? Can he do that?"
Right.
And he did catch the 4-bagger. He threw 4 really good shots, but then, like his last shot of that game, he missed the board right, and it washed out. And yeah, when he made the move, he came back a couple frames later. Was yeah, that pair ain't doing that. So. So yeah, we're again we're reaching the halfway point here at the 4-game race to the top 24.
Stewie got an opportunity here. 90, 20, 90, 20, 50, 80, 14. Is that right? Trying to save 214 with the back 7. We looking at that right? Uh-oh, Matt Jones back in front of us. Mr. Jones, also with Brianna Cote. Tim Eichhorn now also on 9 and 10.
Tat Jones.
Tad Jones. He knows a thing or two about a progressive pot. Carl, you handed me the
4-6 Jones.
The prize fund. And, of course, it's $10,000 to the winner. We know that one. $5,000 for second, $3,000 for third, and $2,000 for fourth. But you're paying, of course, all the way to 55. And then the progressive pot. Can you explain, just a couple things with regards to, hey, we talked about opportunities to make money outside of the main tournament, if you will. But if you got to this point, you're guaranteed $500.
Correct.
And then also, what exactly is the progressive pot for those who may not know?
So it's called the RVR pot,
Okay.
progressive pot. It's a risk versus reward pot. And what that is the winner immediately following. It's kind of like the TAT, right? They have a great model of what they do. So I have an iteration of that. So 5180 is in the current pot today. The winner will have an opportunity to throw one strike for 25%. It's a free roll. Correct. It's a free roll, 25%. Get it, you're guaranteed 25%.
What was the buy-in for that to be?
$20.
$20 per
Yeah.
squad.
Per squad.
Okay.
You have to be qualified through the squad that you made it into the cut. So let's say you only bought in 3 times, but you skipped one because you didn't feel like that. But that was the squad that you made it through. You're not eligible into the pot.
Gotcha.
It's pay as you play.
Okay.
If the first strike, it's a guaranteed free roll. It's 25%. If you do strike, you have an option. This is where the risk comes in. You risk your current handheld money versus going for 50%. So on and so forth. You strike twice, you're guaranteed half. You want to go for 75% or take the money and run? All the way for 4 strikes for all of it.
Yeah, so you get the first one 25%. You then, what happens if you throw the second shot and don't strike?
All the money rolls over to next year.
So you don't get any of it?
0.
So you don't
Risk
even get
versus reward.
percentage of your 25?
Nope.
You get nil.
Risk versus reward.
Gotcha.
Yep. All or nothing.
Makes you think.
Yep.
Makes you think.
I think if anyone knows anything about shooting for progressive, that's man right in front of us right here.
Yep.
On 9 and 10.
Yeah, that's right, Matt Jones. Nice little free roll, right? Got himself 25,000, and then said, "No, I'm good. Not gonna go with the risk on that. I'm just gonna take the 25 that I just won from the TAT itself, and then with the strike I just threw with the next 25 I just won. I'm just gonna go home. I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm gonna go put it all on black.
The best part of
Hey,
this
each your own, whatever you want to do.
You're basically getting another 50% if you can run them out. 10 becomes 15 really quick.
Paul can get to.
Bree gave it a run.
Wow, she did
On the big 4.
And then Paul almost had the big wheel going, so that one wouldn't go in the channel. So he shoots 209. Stewie trying to go out for 214, and then Lizzie here, spare strike would get her to 179.
And then a couple pins.
Every pin does count here.
Yeah, and she, like I said, she gets the, I think, 5 bonus, or the 5 extra
Yes,
pins.
and then also while Carl is here. Hold on, Tad Jones.
Easy there, boss.
While Carl is here, just to re-up on the pin structure for those who get pins. Just that structure. Can you recap that structure for the viewers who may be watching for the first time?
So it's 0, 5, or 7. That's the only wood that's going to be in play for any of these players.
Okay.
So women without, women without a tour title or a national, doesn't rep a national team.
A national as far as
Team USA,
their
Team
country.
Canada. Correct.
Okay.
Team USA, Team Canada.
Yeah.
They are ineligible for pins.
Okay.
Prime example, the lady in front of us, Lizzie Reese. She gets 5 pins per game
Okay.
because she's not a title holder.
Yep.
She holds no professional status, and she's not part of Team USA.
Correct.
So because of that, she receives pins. Vice versa, Brianna Kotek gets 0 pins.
Player of the year, Team USA.
All of it,
Yes.
all the accolades. Warren Eels gets pins because he's over the age of 60.
Gotcha.
Any senior over the age of 60 is exempt from not getting wood taken away from him. So example, somebody like Pete, over the age of 60.
Yep.
Obviously multiple major winner.
Yep.
Would theory get pins in my tournament because of the age.
Gotcha.
Right? So
Actually, I was wrong. So Stewie's actually throwing a Hustle USA, the red, white, and blue,
okay.
With the gold logos, because we obviously made the Ion
The special
special
edition.
edition Bowl Expo Ion. I thought maybe he might have got those, but yeah, I just noticed there was the Hustle logo on there. So, which is actually, so it makes sense too. Hustle, because Bree had been using a Hustle, the medium to higher RG, lower diff, but that's a hybrid cover, and it come out of the box sanded, right? And his looks to be like oil saturated, kind of beat up. So yeah, that's what allows him to keep it online and do what he do.
All right, so I told you I would wait. It's in between games, but we just got a few moments here. Put some of the standings on the screen. This is after 1. Josh Kennedy plus 58. Shot there from Icorn on the left. Nick Elliott, Wolf plus 21. Lizzie Reese was 13 over. She'll give a few pins back. Not much though. Brad Erickson, Dylan Taylor, Landon Carnett. But the one you need to know, of course, the red line. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in that 191 area, which, 4 games, when you do have that many people around the number after 1 game, for me, it does lead me to think that I might as well prepare for a tie, because that's a lot of numbers. Like 2 is different. 5 is like, it's a lot. We're probably going to have a tie today. And if we do have a tie for the final spot, what happens?
9th and 10th frame roll-off.
9th and 10th frame roll-off. Okay.
It's because Theo's involved.
I told you that. I told you in 2023.
Oh, I know, and it happened.
You're going to have ties.
It happened.
All right, so then, since we are in between games, this is game 3, correct?
Yes.
That's fast. Okay. Basketballers had a question for Slim for 2LS, which is what is 2LS for those who don't know?
That's a two-handed layout system that we have.
Two-handed layout system.
Yep.
Is the COG number. Center of gravity, I assume, correct?
Center of grip.
Center of grip.
Yep.
The only number that makes it pin up versus pin down, or is the COG number the only number that makes it pin up versus pin down? And if so, what number could constitute as pin down?
That's one thing we actually talk about internally, and I actually had this discussion with Hank and Alex not long ago in reference to the pin distance for two-handers. Predominantly, very few, if any, two-handers drill pin down, right? Like that number doesn't equate in that, it doesn't really happen in that system. And it's one of those things that if you look at all the players on tour, I don't know there's one of the two-handers that has a pin down ball. And again, it gets into, as we're talking about a mass distribution and the fact that they don't have the thumb hole, right? They only get the 2 fingers. And even when you drill those fingers deep, there's only so much mass you can remove with 2 holes. And as opposed to with the thumb hole, when you change the core shape and core integrity, when you put, whether it is just a straight hole or you put a slug, or then it gets into the interchangeables, you put a turbo or an it or a Jopo or, you know, any interchangeable type system that really takes out a lot of mass, you're really moving stuff around, right? I think the one thing we often refer to, especially at Storm, in regards to the 2LS system, keeping the pin, you know, within 1.5 inches, 2 inches is about pushing it, but if you're less than that, down to that 1.5 inches or an inch above, just above the fingers, that's what gives you the earlier type motion. That's what we kind of would reference for them. And the longer you make that distance, when you see a lot of the balls on TV, when you see the guys, the pins look like they're out in outer space. A lot of times those are like 4.5-inch pins, but that third distance is the far distance, right? And it gets into, you get into that 4, usually kind of like that 5, even sometimes 6-inch range from the grip line, right? So you're getting the pin 6 inches away. And that's what, with the rev rates, based on how you throw it. Because, again, two-handers are all unique and different based on what their rotation, and some of them are inverted, some are, you know, 3/4, some are end over end, some are kind of like a Frisbee. Everybody's got a little bit different style when it comes to the two-handed style. And, yeah, so it's just knowing, you know, just like a one-hander, it's very crucial to know the PAP to make sure you're getting the cores in the right spot for those two-handers, right? And like I said, if you're looking for specific emotion, you're getting into that, the pin, when you get the pin closer, still above the fingers, it gets closer to the fingers, that's where you get the earlier, smoother motion, and then you get into that farther, like I said, that third number, when it gets bigger. Example, I had a conversation a couple months ago with Justin Knowles, lefty on the Roto Grip staff. We were talking about some stuff, and even Spencer Ribarge. Another lefty, right? We were talking about some stuff, and you know, I want to say with Justin, we talked about it. He ended up doing like a 6x6x6, which again, he's like, yeah, that's completely like on the other side of the ball from what I'm used to seeing. But it gave him the reaction he was looking for in a level to try and compete against urethane. And then he went out and won a sweeper, and he won another tournament after that. He's like, hey, that one rolls pretty good. So yeah, it's just understanding what you're trying to do, where you're trying to place the core. Hopefully that helps.
Great shot by Brianna Cote. We'll take a look next door here in a moment. Over on 13 through 16, Brett Wolf over there, and Brett Wolf might be our leader. Scores are starting to roll in here. Greg Thompson Jr. also next door. Speaking of GT2, washout on command. GT2 got his Sunday's best on. He's got his championship winning clothes on, and maybe some all black Kobe's. He about to go Mamba on us today. Abe Alvarez, he was, again, really good last night. That one is left, and that's a good break. Jason Gutzeit. So we talked about the youth a little bit yesterday, Carl, with Jason. Jonathan Orozco made the casters round. He is 14 years old, correct? Any other youth players that advanced and or bowled, really? First of all,
Christian
who bowled?
Ortega.
That's right, Christian Ortega.
Yep.
Man, this is a good one. It's in a spot where, from the time we talked about, like, you know, big collegiate tournaments going on this weekend, right? But I know the aspect of the youth. It's available at your tournament.
Correct.
Many people may not know it, but folks, a 14-year-old, and I don't even know how old young Jason is, but he's still a youth bowler, I think, technically,
that
right?
is correct.
So he's sub 18, that's for
Yes.
sure. And then Jonathan is 14, and they will receive whatever they win to their SMART funds and scholarship
That's correct.
opportunities. So if you got a youth bowler and you're thinking about, you know, or they're progressing, maybe that you want them to try some higher level events outside of just youth bowling, you can look at the Agent Ong as an opportunity.
No, we look forward to that, actually. You know, I enjoy the youth aspect of it. I think this is a great platform to get into some competitive bowling with some of the best on the planet, and kind of dip your feet into seeing a little bit more of what it would be like.
Anthony Simonson was also on 11 and 12 with Justin Sims and Robert Smith. And Simo looks to have the early touch going, right? He's always, to me, if not the best, but certainly one of the best at touch and feel. And he looks like, you can just kind of tell, like he's got the feel part locked in, at least in game 3 so far. He's got spare 3-bagger. Speaking of scores, we're almost done with those. Theo is more than now halfway through with the updates. Just some notables right now. Again, Brett Wolf plus 39 after 2 games. Josh Kennedy, his score isn't in yet. I tell you, of the scores that are in, that are updated, Brett Wolf is the only plus number I'm looking at. And that is through 30 updated scores after 2. Okay, not including Josh Kennedy, Nick Elliott, Dylan Taylor, Wesley Lowe. Yeah, but big FYI there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, once we get through this round, there's Bree now with 5 in a row. We'll go back there in a moment. We, scores again will dissipate after the advancement here, and it'll be, of course, then that's 2 out of 3 for match play. 2 out of 3, right, Carl?
Correct.
2 out of 3. Get another 5-bagger, a front 5 on 5 and 6, in fact. Keep our eyes over there as well. There's Mr. Finch. Talked about his kids earlier. I think he said his kids bowl here. I think he said he bowls junior league or youth league here. He's the one who recommended the breakfast sandwich that Schlemer and I had 3 consecutive days.
Yes. Hashtag run it back.
Shout out to Sean. Eddie Van Daniker, yeah, he still throws it good, man. Not good is actually an understatement for him.
Yep.
It's more than good.
Solid.
Speaking of good, bang, GT2.
There it is.
He's already got a 10K win this year in Phoenix. He won the Cactus Classic.
He did win the Cactus. He got his free entry here into the Agent Ong Open with direct partnership with CBE.
He parlayed that. Of course, he bowled some additional squads, make a little money. Tried to improve his score just in case as well. Each side, I noticed that in his start, of course, is a 2-handed player, and I've seen some do this, but his shoulders are a little further back. I'm wondering kind of what was the cause and effect, because that feels like maybe he went to that to correct something else, and this is me thinking at it from a coaching aspect of things.
Yeah, it's a good question, right? And that'd be something you have to ask him.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did notice it a little bit, right? So that'd be something that, as he worked with somebody, is that something they're trying to implement a certain thing? Because that's always one of those things. It doesn't matter if it's 2-hander or 1-hander. I always ask him, like, okay, are you working with a coach? Are you trying to build something right now, or what are we doing? When you try to analyze when somebody says, "Hey, you got any ideas or tips for me?" Okay, well, let's find out exactly what we're doing or what we have, right? And then then we discuss it from there.
Cote will enter the left of your screen here shortly. She's got at least 5 in a row. 9th frame shot. 2021 PWBA Player of the Year right there, folks. And looking very Player of the Year like here early.
14 pounds of fury right there.
14 pounds of fury. I feel like in some ways, I think there were probably a couple players already throwing 14, but helped leading the 14-pound fury charge. Not certainly on the women's tour, but I feel like across bowling to some degree. Wrapped in for Simonson. That was that reaction that suggested that he threw that one about as well as you could throw it.
Yeah, and he's throwing, if those of you remember, that's an Idol Cosmos.
That's a favorite of his, right?
That is a favorite of his, especially when they get like this, right? It's reactive, but it was a ratioed blend, which made it a less reactive cover, if you will. And that's why that's one of his faves when he's allowed to use it, because again, the PBA, they've got the 2-year rule. When he's allowed to use it, a la any events outside of the PBA, he has a couple of them, in his stash if you will, because he knows that's because he's not a big fan. Honestly, you can ask him; he'll tell you he's not a big fan of urethane. So that's why when you see it a lot, especially like on tour, you know, the gem and some other stuff. There's balls that he would much rather use reactive than urethane.
Quick load at 13 through 16. We said someone had the front 5 somewhere. Is that on 5 and 6?
3 and 4.
It was 5 and 6. So they went front 5, 9 spare strike. We'll tell you who that is in a sec.
I was just looking at 3 and 4. A bowler's got, I see 4. Is it perfect through however many?
They're in the back half of that game. So it's a 4-bagger. 30, 60, 90.
It says 150 on the board, right?
Yeah. I think they're in the 7th frame down there.
Ooh. Tip.
Might have been Lizzie. No.
Tip.
It's Jessica.
Samo.
Jessica Noshbush down there with the string.
9 was the last to fall for Samo here to catch a strike. That's pretty good pitch right there.
And Daneker 10-pin. Next door there's Cortez Shank at the bottom of your screen. Cortez, one of the last players to get in last night. GT, man, he got a break. Of course, GT is 6'5", and most people know that. But I've got to raise my picture-in-picture so his head remains in the shot at the bottom. My man.
So you can't really do the 16 by 9. You
They
gotta
can do it,
the
but
letterbox.
I gotta raise it a little bit for my boy.
The results are in after game 2.
Okay, let's take a look. At the very least, talk about them. And so Josh Kennedy plus 73.
Mr. Kennedy.
All right, 58-15. 258, 215. The run ends for Bree. First one in the 10th. Mick Elliott,
Look at
Jeremy.
that. 221, 220 for McElliott.
Pretty solid. And I mean, he's basically just picked up where he left off on his squad, which was 2 days ago.
Absolutely.
Brett Wolf plus 39 as mentioned. Dylan Taylor plus 23. Michael Fitzgerald plus 9. Wesley Lowe plus 5, along with Michael Haugen Jr. That's a tie for 6th place. Lizzie Reese 8th, minus 9. We'll go all the way down to 24th, where there is a firm number at the moment, minus 16. Oh no. And trouble there for Bree in the 10th, 223. That'll grind the gears, certainly. Van Daneker is 24th at minus 16. Tat Jones was 25th at minus 18.
But he gave some back with 169. And one thing I want to note, we talked about Kyle Troop bowling 180 to game 1 and was out of the number. He bowled 207 and that was 20th at minus 13.
There you go.
So that, again, that's the mentality of grinding it out.
And you still don't need big games today, right? So that theme continues.
Well, and so, and you know, I guess now we're getting to a spot, right? As we're finishing game 3 here. Now when you're looking at game 4, now some of these folks will maybe get into the mindset of, I need to get to the top 8. So I get that first round. You get the first round bye. And again, it's one of those deals. I'm sure, you know, Matt Jones right here, you know, just bowled 169, gave it a few more back. Now in his head, and we talked about it when he was sitting here the other day, he knows he's going to have to post probably 240 this game to kind of get at least
back
get that back to at least give him a crack at the top 24. He doesn't have aspirations of top 8. He's got aspirations of get me to the number. Now, outside of that, and some of these other guys that are in that spot, in that pocket.
Greg Thompson.
You know,
as an example, or Gregory.
You got the number is Lizzie at -9, right? So Warren Eels, Jessica, and Jessica's putting a big game up on the board, right? So she's going to jump into the top 8. Dallas Leong, I mean, you're that 8th spot at -9. Man, you get all the way down to
17.
I was actually probably, well,
I mean,
everybody
in the
yeah, from 8th down to 24th, those bottom 16 are within a few pins of getting to the 8th spot. So it's going to be a race to the finish to see,
who
you know,
gets
again,
bye.
who has that ability to flip that mindset and go, oh, hey, I'm going to target the top 8. I think most of the folks are looking at, hey, I just want to make this cut.
Correct.
Right.
That's who's that there on 5 and 6?
Yeah, that's why I went over there real quick. Putting up some numbers.
That's Wyatt.
Yeah, he had 2 big games to end his squad yesterday,
He did.
and that's what got him in.
Because, yeah. No,
221 or 258, right?
yeah. No, he got motivated because Matt
No
and I
pun
were
intended.
No, yeah, we
Wow.
Matt. So we bowl with Trzowski on Tuesday nights.
Sure.
Okay.
Myself, Matt Jones, Ben Perry, Aaron Yamamoto, and Habel.
Okay, so yeah, he's got 198 spare up in the 9th. So yeah, he's okay with that.
Yeah, he is he's a hoot. But no, we kind of Matt actually had a really good heart-to-heart with him.
Eddie V catching a double to it's going to get him to 2-0. Eddie Van Daniker, so that's going to help over here.
Blickenstaff putting together a game also. Excuse me. 40-70-2-0, trying to save a game.
And catches the strike.
209. Noshbush over there still striking. I told y'all.
You don't have to tell me. She's won my stuff.
Well, I told I saw them both at the her and her husband, I should say, the Cactus Classic, and she made match play. Jessica did, and I remember talking to them both. And I said she gave the impression that she didn't feel like she was as good as, at least from what I saw. Like my own eyes, our eyes generally don't lie, right? And I said, she's there, and then they broke down and say, hey, she was bowling this, she had been winning these things, and she was on a good run, and it's continued. And then I was told that she won your eliminators.
Yep.
And maybe we clouded her there but it was the second shot in the 10th, so she's looking at 230. So yeah, that's solid. Yeah, and you made mention a couple times the number of people that maybe have I think the best way to explain it is self-doubt. Maybe not realizing they're as good as they are. And it's easy to do in the game of bowling, right? Because depending on what type of field or what type of exposure you get, right? Like what levels you go compete, it's hard to really figure out where you rank, right? Like bowling does not have I think that's the weird thing for us. We don't have a ranking system per se, like the USGA. It's not like you type in your score and kind of where you are, like, oh, you're this particular thing, because we have all these other variables that have to plug in with what type of certified lane condition is it? What's the lane surface? What are you bowling on this kind of pin? Are you bowling on this type of lane oil? All these other variables, and so that's where I think that there's no definitive, oh, hey, this is where I rank.
Right.
Now, I will give you a tidbit. One stat that we use and share that we got from the USBC a couple years ago, we know roughly that 80% of the bowling population averages less than a 170. So that's where you kind of put that in perspective, right? And again, people are like, well, how's that even a thing? Because I bowl on such and such, and people average 222. You're right, but then there's other leagues probably in that same building where nobody averages over 150. Right. Because bowling is such a diverse crowd. It's hard to know what your skill set is or where you, I guess, rank in that. So, we got Landon Carnett here in front of us. Landon's a pretty good player. Yeah, all right. We got some stuff moving and shaking around us here.
Yeah, Darren Tang, Cortez Shank, and
Landon Carnett.
It's pretty solid on 9
as
and 10.
we're teeing off on the final and fourth game to see who is going to make the top 24 here at the Agent Ong Open, the Trilogy.
Let me ask you a question, Schlemer.
As only nobody else could do. Yes, sir. What do you got?
When you get into match play, it's kind of the all bets are off. And we all know that because just, anything can happen.
Yep.
In match play. But if if Josh Kennedy, who's still playing him straight, right? He has not deviated from that strategy, and straight meaning he's the furthest or the closest to the gutter.
Okay.
To me, of all the competitors that we still have rolled through here today, as we watch GT2 try to finish up here, 50-80, 19-249 opportunity. No.
That's right, everybody. The cloud is in full effect.
Happens every day.
It happens every day. He's like, I own it.
But
I am not denying it. Ooh, look at this wheel. Look at that wheel. Wow.
That's the Cortez I know, too.
Yes, sir.
Josh Kennedy, can he keep playing? Like, let's say he gets the #1 seed. He holds on to it. Can he run the gamut, you think, by playing out like where he's playing and now it looks
You
like
want my honest opinion?
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's nobody else out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because it looks like
He's
now
got a trick that nobody can do.
everyone else has stopped trying to play there. But he's been the best at it all weekend.
And like I said, him and I have had a couple conversations this week, and we talked. I want to say early on, it was merely just a surface thing, and what he saw and what he can do with his hand, where he catches it. I mean, he catches it good, and he's pointing it up 1-2. He's like, oh, I can do this. He goes, da da da. He goes, do you think that's okay? I go, dude, if you can repeat it, hey, it's whatever you think you can do.
Absolutely.
And, was it yesterday after one of the squads, he's like, hey, I did this, and this. And I said, man, that was impressive. He goes, well, thank you. He goes, I still think I could, I got other things. I go, again, don't overthink it. You already got plenty of wood. You already do what you're doing. I mean, that's 10 back, dude. Like, I don't know what he had this third game, but he has the balls. He has that zone. And again, there is nobody remotely close to him. So in essence, he's playing like we talked about with Ben the other day, right? Where he's playing on the lane, it's technically fresh every lane he's going to, because there's not, even though there's other right-handed traffic, nobody's in that set down and playing the front 15, 20 feet like him.
It feels like if he can, which is difficult, and I'll make sure I understand the rules on, resurfacing and if it's allowed during match play. Sometimes depending on the tournament, a new round constitutes the addition to resurface or the opportunity to resurface.
Yeah, we'll double check the rule, but and to expound on that, right? And you bring up a solid point, because most people, I mean, that's 10 back, 10 back, 10 back.
It's ridiculous.
The one rule I think that it cracks me up that people freak out, and it's confusing for international players.
Sure.
Because there's tournaments on other parts of the globe.
Yes. Yep.
Where you can sand your ball between shots.
Yes, that's a wild. That's a wild thought. If you live in the United States.
And I will tell you what's wild about that, right? Is so I can remember back, and those old enough to remember, back in my PWBA player tour. I don't know what we were. No, not tour up. When we worked player services.
Player services. Yeah.
We had a Luster King we took every week.
Mm-hmm.
The girls could polish the ball between shots.
Wow.
So there was a time back in the late '90s where a girl.
That's crazy.
You could be the front 6 or 7 to be. All of a sudden you see a hand up, and me or Sean Morris would have to run down. Like, yeah, what's up? Can you put this in the Luster King for 10 seconds? So you run, put it in for 10 seconds, bring it back to him.
That is.
And you could do that between
wild
shots. Yes.
Story.
That was a thing.
Crazy work right there.
Yep. So yeah, when you tell stories like that, or
Can't
then
imagine
the international aspect, because
wow.
Again, that's a question of international players when they come bowl events here.
Yes.
And not necessarily, I guess like Canada or Mexico, South America, right? It's more so Europe, Asia, stuff like that is where we see those rules. Those bowlers are they want to make sure they don't mess up, right? Like they don't want to break the rules because they're very conscious of that. And they just ask like, hey, can I sand my ball between shots?
Right.
And people go, did that guy just ask if he could sand his ball between shots? Well, yeah, where he's from, he bowls, a few tournaments a year where he can do that. So, yeah, that is a thing.
Well, it's something similar did take place on the women's tour this year.
Okay.
With why is her name leaving me now?
So one of the
Nora.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's from the Euro market.
But her last name is leaving me now.
I know what you're talking about.
Good Lord.
I'm struggling too.
That's how I know.
The two-hander
Yes.
from
Johansson.
from
Nora
Sweden, I think.
Johansson. Yes, from Sweden.
Yeah.
She was bowling in the tournament, and she was patting her rosin bag on her finger holes, which of course here is not legal. Well, depending on where you are, but the tournament rules, no legal substance technically right on the bowling ball, but that is legal
Where she's from
in Europe.
Yeah.
And so of course she didn't know, and she literally was like brought to tears because she had the ball was removed out of play. They went by the USBC rules and the PWA rules with regard to that.
So it's not even a deal where you can tap it and wipe it off?
No.
Okay. See, so that used to be a thing in the USBC rules,
Right.
but obviously then that's changed.
Yeah, they went through
Okay.
it. So they had to remove the ball out of play. She ended up winning the match, but she was a little distraught.
Yeah, distraught. I'm sure. Yeah.
So,
but she's young too. Like she's
yeah,
in the early 20s, I think. Right?
22.
Like yeah. It's the. Again, we play.
The
even
moral
though
is always
play
read
the
the
game.
rules of
Exactly.
whatever tournament you're
we
bowling.
play this game. It's 39 inches wide. It's 60 feet long. There's usually the approach is usually 15 feet. Sometimes it's shorter. Sometimes it's longer. But yeah, all the other rules of, when people ask like da da da, and I go, okay, well, what's the rule? Well, they go, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, you need to find that out.
Always read the rules.
That's a thing, right?
Especially before you get on the plane.
Facts. Hashtag facts.
Josh Kennedy finally missed.
Did he?
3-6-10.
Solid game.
All right, so once we
Yeah,
get
see, look at that. He missed, and then you clouded him. 7-2.
Once we get our update, we'll obviously know.
A better idea.
We'll see who, especially if they're in our area, they'll need to keep an eye on, of course. Matt Zweig, he's been a little quiet today, but again, you just got to get in.
Is he down here within range somewhere?
Yeah, he's on 14 right in front of us here.
Oh, okay.
Oof. Yep.
Was that a pocket 9-10?
It was. And
A pocket 4-9-10?
that was a
almost?
very, from a rack perspective, that was a tough rack. That was a difficult rack.
So why didn't he re-rack?
I'm not sure. Hey, I'm not sure if he saw it or
And
not.
it was actually one of those things, too, and I wanted to say that a second ago, when Matt Jones threw that shot in a 10th, the 4-pin was way off, and I don't know if he just didn't see it. That's why he didn't strike on the one shot. Oh, yeah. Look at that. You could drive a car through the one side there. High flush. Yeah, almost a 4-9-10. Yeah, so, and again, folks, that's one of those things of, just when you get to this level, you got to kind of pay attention to racks. And, again, more often than not, they're somewhat close. But, yeah, even, like I said, because the one I was talking about was here on 9 and 10, it was lane 9. The rack, that rack's not great, but it was, the 4-pin was really offset on the shot that Matt Jones threw in the 10th, that it was, I'm like, dude, you didn't see that?
There are some things that I have learned to pay attention to by especially working on tour.
Yeah.
The women's tour primarily, and certainly the PBA tour, and even just sitting here, right? Because all we're doing is watching bowling.
Yep. I'm just taking it all in, man. Taking it all in.
On repeat, right? So, but just learning about paying that extra attention to what the 1-3 looks like in regards to offset, pins being offset, and how sometimes, right, you throw it good, but the rack, and even so much so, like I started noticing it, and if I was bowling leads, right, sometimes you're center, sometimes there's a lane that just has a bad rack every now and then, right?
Absolutely.
I started to re-rack because I was paying attention to them. Like,
yeah. And you don't realize it, right? And I will say that it was never one of those things that I worried too much about. Like, even my early years on the women's tour, a lot of the girls, and people use re-racks for different reasons, right? Like, I want to say back then it was, your re-rack was just buying time kind of thing. I really saw the more of it on the men's tour, and it got to where I remember there was times in the early 2000s, I tore up for almost about 12 years out there. There were some centers where So the guys get 2 re-racks per game, and you have to write them on your score sheet, and that's kind of a common rule, even on the ladies' tour. I remember some events where the exception of the rule was made to where you got 3 re-racks a game, and I can't remember where we were at. I want to say, I think the guys got like 5 a game, because, again, it was just the way the pin cycled, and based on kind of the ratio, like, okay, and again, not everybody uses 5 re-racks in a game, like per close enough, but it was whatever that week. I remember trying to remember who it was, one of our guys, and it's like they cashed in 3 re-racks in a row because it was 3 racks, like the 1-2 was touching the one time, re-racked, next rack, like the 1-3 were touching. It's like, okay, well, let's take a gamble on a third one. Take a third one. Another pin was off spot. Cashed in the 4th one. Finally, a suitable enough rack, right? So, yeah, it just happens when you have mechanical parts and things, and yeah, they get tired. They wear out. That's what it is.
Scores are consistently being updated. Just to give you a few items: Josh Kennedy plus 70, Anthony Simonson plus 50, Bob Wiley plus 30. No, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon, plus 45. It's important to look at the total here if you're looking at this and not the plus minus, because the plus minus will only give you the scratch total. So keep that in mind, folks, as you're reading this. Look at the scratch or look at the total. There's scratch, there's total, then the plus minus, which we normally will refer to. In this case, because there's handicap involved, you don't want to get confused. So just read off the total. So Kennedy plus 70, Simonson plus 50, Wiley plus 45, Troop plus 44, 257 for Kyle Troop, by the way, game 3.
How much?
257 from the 180 start in game 1. Brett Wolf plus 31, Dylan Taylor plus 23, Wyatt Truskowski plus 16, Greg Thompson Jr. plus 12, Michael Haugen Jr. plus 10, our guy Anthony James, who won the Desperado last night and is now on 11 and 12. He's 7 over after big 231 in game 3. The slow roller. The 10 pin won't go.
And again, we were talking about the look that Kennedy had, right? And so he started gangbusters. Then he went 7-2. Then he went strike, and now he's another opener too. Yeah, he's got 143 in the 7th, spare up in the 8th. So that game didn't totally derail. You know, he can get back on it, but yeah. I know we were talking about the what his look like, his look is, and I think it's going to be pair to pair, right? Like, I think that's when we talked about getting to the finals, and if he has that look, yeah, it's whether or not he can do it on the pair that he's bowling on. And I guess the question is, if he catches a pair where he can't, what is his strategy off of that? Wayne with a pretty good pitch there. He's kind of getting the hard tumble going.
Slim, do you have a preferred match play bracket format, like best of 3, best of 5, total pinfall, 2-game total?
I don't, because I appreciate mixing things up, right? Like, I think there should be more variations, honestly. Just because I think that, you know, total pins is total pins, especially like for majors. You know, you grind out, you do that. But when you have other events, you know, if you were to do stuff like this where you qualify and then you get to the spot where, okay, the pins drop and you go into like a bracket and you do a random, you know, do you do it like Major League Baseball, you know, where the first round is best 2 out of 3 and then the next round is, you know, best 3 out of, or, you know, baseball or hockey, best 3 out of 5. And then you get later, it's like, okay, now we're going to best of 7. Do you go that route? I mean, I don't know. There's just all different ways you can go. I mean, what if there's an event where it was 9th, 10th frame roll off, so it was best out of 7, 9th and 10th.
Yeah, that'd be Be interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Interesting.
like, what's your strategy in that, right? Like, and you know, there's I don't know, there's so many different ways you can go, things you can do. The options are endless. It's a matter of, it's got to make sense and it's got to work. You know, because again, everybody's always looking for a negative spin on something and why it won't work or why it's bad or whatever. Well, because people just can't appreciate it for what it is and just enjoy it, right?
Indeed.
I gotta say that this cross right here, this pair right here in front of us, 9 and 10, is pretty solid in the fact of, you look at all three of these guys. You know, Landon's even got, he doesn't have a ton of tour experience. You know, Cortez was Rookie of the Year. D-Tang's got some titles. Landon's made some noise in a couple majors. You know, he's made some finals. You know, it's one of those deals where, yeah, look at that, converting the washout. I mean, don't leave anything you don't pick, right? I know that because it's come up a couple times of, you know, some of the tour guys are like, hey, anybody know this guy? Like he showed up for 2 majors and he made the finals one time. It's like, where'd he come from? So that tells you what his skill level is, right?
I'm
And
currently
he's
looking.
just inside the number.
I was just going to say, where's his name? There he is.
Yeah, minus 212, 167, 208, and he's putting 220 on the board.
So the number, folks, after 3 is minus 14. There's a 3-way tie for that number, but the tie begins at 22nd.
222.
All right, so if
For
it's
Landon Carter.
the tie for 22nd is at minus 14 and not for 24th. If it were to remain that way, that means there would be no roll-off. There would be no tie technically.
Correct.
If the tie was for 24th itself, of course, then we're looking at the roll-off situation.
Then we go to the 9th and 10th roll-off.
But Landon just did himself a huge solid there. Van Daniker and Cortez is also tied at minus 14. So Carnett and Shank were tied. And Cortez actually has a chance to get in front of Landon by a pin with all 3 in the 10th. That's important because you never
That was a
know.
restaurant quality shot.
And he wraps a 10. You never know, right?
You never know. Where's Eddie V at? Eddie V's down here.
He is on 7 and 8 just next door. Oh, this is, thank you, my man upstairs in heaven. And Theo. Not that he did it on purpose, but.
I think it's, well, yeah, because left's going left, right's going right.
Well,
right?
the folks that we need who happen to be around the number.
We happen to have the bubble right here in front of us.
That never happens.
Lord, I apologize. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Jason Cragen, actually, too.
Yeah.
He's 26 right
Dear
now.
Lord, baby Jesus, and your cute little baby Jesus tuxedo, we thank you.
Who else? How about Jonathan Orozco? He still got a chance to make this. He's 14. He had a chance to make match play, but I don't think he's nearby. I think he's on the high end.
Looks to be, yes.
For the top 8 right now, plus 34, Paul Younts. As we're talking about buys, potential buys, okay? D-Tang, unfortunately, didn't have it this morning. He shoots 205. He will not advance to match play. Cortez could. And he shoots 212. All right. So let's go next door here quickly. Couple of frames left. Let me check our standings again. Keith Fung is in at minus 21. Orozco minus 21. Cesar Padilla minus 24. Lizzie Reese, Brandon Cryer. Cryer was on 13 through 16. We'll check his score. Zach Schroeder was nearby the number, but if he makes the spare here, or no, I'm sorry, 50, 80, 10, he could shoot 210, still give himself a chance. And he leaves a 210. Joshua Brown, is he involved? Man, Dallas Leong, it's crazy how that works, man. Dallas 186, 209, 170. Goodsite would need a big game. There's still much to be determined. But it does look like, you know, there's some players out here that do need to shoot 220 this game to give themselves really a fighting chance. That one right there for Zach. No count there. That'll all but do it for him. Where is Greg Thompson Jr.? He's 13th at plus 12. GT right now. He's at 93 in the 5th. All right, trying to get through this game and hold on to his spot.
Pace of the clean game.
Bob Wiley shot 268. How about that for Bob?
Really?
Yep, and he's going to finish. He's got strikes in the 9th and the 10th, the first one in the 10th. The Chicago Bears, looks like they've just got an interception.
In case you cared.
It's just super random for me, the Chicago Bears fan, and perhaps the only one in the building, right? Right.
Well, no, I mean, we're in Chicago West. I'm sure there's a lot of Bears
That's
fans
right.
in
You're
here.
right. We are in Chicago West. All right, let's go down. And GT, excuse me, 4-9. Well, you don't want to leave it to chance there, Greg Thompson Jr. Cragen. Let's go to Cragen next door on 11 and 12. All right, so Jason Cragen, he's got they got several frames left. And what about Zweig here? Let's take a look at Zweig. Where's Matt Zweig?
Right here on 13-14. Not good.
I'm in his score. Yeah, not good at all. 190, 190, 160.
Yeah, he's done.
That would not have been on my bingo card this morning.
No.
Not even close. Wouldn't have thought that. Sean Wyatt Truskowski.
Oh, that's not what he needed right there. Oh, that was this Phil.
No, but
197.
he was in the hunt for a bye.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to finish
But he's
at,
safely in the number.
correct.
Okay.
He's going to finish at plus 13, it looks like. But yes, Mr. Sean Wyatt is in. Go back over to 5 through 8 here. Brett Wolf, who was also searching for a bye. He was 9th. He is going to give, looks like with a spare 3 pins back and finish at plus 28. And that is his score. Simo down there. It's going to be in the 2 teens and will have a bye. Didn't see Josh Kennedy's final tally. Let's see if it would potentially be enough to hold on to the top seat. But again, top 8 get a bye. Hello, Keith. And Chico, I'm going to get the old double check.
Discount double check?
See how many minutes we will actually have in between match play. I was thinking it'd be around 11-ish or so.
Oh, it's 10:56 right now.
Right?
Oh, before we start the first round?
Yes.
Oh, is it going to go? Do you think it's going to go that fast?
No, I was thinking like yesterday when I was scheduling the event. I'm like,
gotcha.
around-ish 11, so I'll just set it for 11 until I get the final.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not going to happen, so I'll
Right.
change that to about 11:30. All right, so players who just finished up, GT still, oh shoot, man. Jason, good side here, 50-80. He can shoot 246.
Good insight.
Let's see where. He's not out of it.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Oh, wait. Nope, he's on the right lane. Beg your pardon. So that's Josh Brown, I think. Yeah, that's Josh Brown with the opportunity. But, yeah, Josh Brown minus 54.
He's got a sneaky pop at it.
He does.
And it looks like Junior down there threw the last 4 for 2.
Who are we talking about? Haugen?
The kid. No, the kid. 14.
Jonathan?
217?
Jonathan Orozco?
I think so. Yeah, looks like.
Okay.
Sorry, I put my contacts in and don't have my glasses on. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out my scripts here with my eye doctor. So.
Okay.
But yeah, he threw the back 4 and it looks like 217 he's got up there.
GT2 got to be careful here.
Mm-hmm.
Spares are very important. He is backing himself into a situation
Painting himself into a corner, if you will.
that you don't want to be in.
Oh, hey-o.
Cragen
taking
might be the guy
He's not going to give it away. He's going to take that.
who could take the spot away. He could take a couple spots here. Anthony James, he's still in the number as well. I mean, all of these scores are really important. Gregory. The best GT2 can do is 176.
It's not good.
176.
That's
That
not
would
good.
take 24 away. That put him at minus 12. And he would be firmly on the bubble here. Brightside's not going to do it. So let me go to Craig in here.
Good pitch.
Craig and Mike Jones finishing up. Good for Mike Jones. He will. He caught a check, of course.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we want to make note of. We mentioned it earlier. Everybody that made this round gets $500.
Yep. Minimum.
So they're not going home empty-handed.
That's just from the tournament proper itself, not including side pots and brackets, crisscross doubles, and
correct
sweeper winnings.
We rattle off the deal, right? So, yeah, 25 through 55 will take $500 home.
Cragen, right of your screen. He can max at 212, and again, currently after 3 games was minus 19, first player out. The lefty with the flamed shirt, with the sleeve specifically with the
ASU,
the Trident logo on the back of the jersey. It's a nice slick look.
Fire spear.
Meanwhile, Anthony James can max at 200 even. A lot of moving and shaking that could take place. Oh, what a break.
Pink.
What a break.
He just went ball changed. He went to an OG idol.
Josh Brown had a chance. He shot 202. Probably not enough, but he'll be at minus 52.
Oh, what do we got there?
Kyle Troop is still pounding.
Kyle Troop with an 8-bagger. So he's got a double hand bone on the backside. Because that was his first one of the 10th.
Okay, so, well, GT. Is that a 5-pin over there?
Yes, sir.
Anthony James.
Kyle found a pretty good look. It looked like he's playing a little bit more direct from where, yeah, that's a 9-bagger. From where he was playing the game 1 when he bowled 180 down here. Still throwing that fast pitch, but it looks like he paralleled right because that looked a little bit more firm and up the lane. And yeah, because I believe he's crossing with Haugen, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And Haugen looks to be like he's got an okay game. He's got a double up in the 8th and 9th. So it looks like he's going to have something okay there.
GT shot 165. Puts him at minus 23. Let's be very close. Cragen, big shot here. Got it.
Fear the Kraken. It's kind of like Fear the Kraken, but different.
Right. The best Cragen can do, of course, as you see, is 192, which would put
he's
him
right
at,
around the number. But you know, like GT fell behind him, didn't he?
No.
Oh.
Well, no. Now he can't. He still can't get there. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. Yeah, minus 19.
Okay.
He's going to give. He can only give, or his max is 192, so that'd be 8.
Yep.
That'd be minus 27, and GT2's at minus 23.
Okay.
But Cortez, for example, well, Cortez was in. He was good. Didn't see what Van Daniker finished with. Carnet's going to be in, generally speaking. Big shot there. You just never know.
He knows he's looking at it. He knows it needs to give himself. He says one more shot. He knows he's on the bubble. He knows he needs to give himself a crack at it. And again, we can't see some of the other scores down the other end. Yeah, so we don't know what that line looks like. We know that Kyle Troop probably went to the top.
It's a good
Because I think Kyle bowled
possibility.
270.
And Josh Kennedy did not bowl 270.
Yeah.
Simo finished with I think Simo maybe shot 220, 230.
Okay. So he might be in that. Yeah, it'll be tight up there.
A lot of scores, of course, that were below the line, the red line in 24th, that would potentially be, again, Orozco. Now if Jonathan Orozco did shoot 217, he might be the guy.
And Haugen did put together a 4-bagger.
I mean, Orozco would get himself to +4 if that's the case. Reagan at 191.
Yeah, looks like Haugen was able to put together like a 2-team game. Yeah, the Cragen loses 9, but yeah, again, he was the spot under the number. It's a matter of where it goes, right?
And Anthony James was in the number. He throws it right at the headpin, which is a very good move there. If he strikes out, he'll give 20 back.
13, minus 13.
So at least he'd give himself still a chance. But at that point, and it would keep him in front of Cragen.
The Cragen. The Cragen is strong with this one.
Actually, yeah, he'd be tied with GT2.
Does he carry it?
Oh my!
Carries it, throwing it at the headpin, catches the double.
How about that?
This is huge, dude. Huge.
How about that? How about that?
I don't know if he knows where he is in the number. Right? I think he might have kind of a clue, but I don't know that he truly knows.
Yeah,
that's just, we're talking pure defense right there. Just kind of huck it up the middle and hope that they bounce around.
Hey, man, that might have just kept his spot.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Oh, my goodness.
Eesh. Eek. 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 All right, so that's 782. He's at minus 18.
Yeah, never know. It's still there's possibility. It's possible.
Only folks still bowling down there now are Ryan Howard. I see Tim Smith. I see Paul Yount, so I think that's the group that's finishing up. I'm going to throw the game 3 or scores after game 3 now on the screen. So in case you haven't seen it, hopefully you have by now. You see what we've been talking about and looking at, of course. And why, of course, everything's so important at this moment in time. All right, so let's throw that on the screen. Again, that was, oh, I'm sorry. We already have scores obviously being updated. All right, so that's just the most recent update. Not confirmed, but we can tell you at least some other things. So Kennedy plus 73. Simonson got to plus 61. Bob Wiley got to plus 55. Chad Lucci plus 47. He's bowled really well.
Mm-hmm.
Wesley Lowe plus 44. Jeremy McElliott and Brett Wolf plus 28. Jessica Noshbush plus 25. Still my sleeper. Kyle Duster plus 21. Lizzie Reese plus 20. We will have at least, are those the only 2 women that advanced to the Cashers round?
Bree. Lizzie.
All 3. I think all 3 are going to
make it?
Bowl potentially.
That's awesome.
Bree finished at minus 14, which we know now is, that felt like a very much a bubble-ish number. But if 3 women advance to the Cashers round, and at least 2 of the 3, and maybe all 3, are going to also advance to match play. We'll see what happens. All right, just confirming some of the numbers that I was working around. GT2 is in the books with minus 23. Keyshawn Johnson finished at minus 22. That's an important one. All right, these are people that are all now in front of GT2. That includes Michael Fitzgerald at minus 21. He shot 170 the last game. Gabe Alvarez minus 18. Keith Fung dropped to minus 17. The number has backed up for sure. Let's do another refresh.
Oh, here we go. Numbers are dropping in quick.
Kyle Troop, 276. Plus 120 for the cashers round.
After a $180 start.
That is incredible.
And Kennedy had 203, so it wasn't terrible.
No, but I knew he wasn't shooting 270. And I didn't think it was going to be enough on the pace that
Lizzie had 239.
How about Lizzie Reese? 820.
Bree had 172, so she was a little minus. Where's Jessica? She in there? Oh, yeah, there she goes.
She's 10th.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to do one more refresh. Put up a new one on the screen real quick. We will hang around and obviously make sure we just get you the updated standings. I'm sorry, not only the updated standings and who's going to advance, but also the correct time that match play will begin, so you know, and we all know.
Are all the numbers in?
Not yet. They're still bowling.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Holy graciousness.
Holy gracious.
Oh,
So
no, look at that. They're still making the bowling.
it does still open up the opportunity for
They're still throwing the shots.
a couple of,
They are way
Q&A,
down there on 27, 28.
product questions and things of that nature if you'd like, folks. So feel free.
Is Warren Eels gonna be a sneak in
that's
again?
a good question. Let's see. Let's see where Mr. Warren Eels
He's
is.
25th.
773.
3 back. I don't know if you can't move because all the top numbers are in.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, you just got to look at the
Okay.
total.
I just
right
saw him
now.
like, is he in the no? He's a number
Yeah,
again.
just got to look at
He's
the
a
total.
line guy.
However, though, I mean, minus 27. It's a slippery
Commendable.
slope. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, because everybody up above that is the numbers are in. So
Oh, we're getting more. Well, we don't know. Assuming Younce is in, that would be Dylan Taylor. He'd be in too. Tim Smith would be a questionable person right now.
He's right there.
Yep, Tim Smith
Right
was
there
right
knocking.
there. This is fun to kind of just keep screenshotting this and updating it. Kind of as it's happening right now.
Oh, it changed
Yeah, it's changing every minute.
every second.
I love this, actually.
Greg Thompson is now officially out of it.
Correct. Yeah, it does look that way, fortunately. GG2 won't sweep the 10Ks. In Phoenix. All right, one more update as we keep going. If Tim Smith is in, that would mean that Keyshawn would not be in.
Mm-hmm.
Fitz is saying it's going to be 18.
So who do we have there at the bottom? So we need a score from.
Tim Smith,
Okay.
Paul Younce, Dylan Taylor, because all of those, actually, there's 3 guys who are, 2 were in already. And if you assume that they're still in, they're just not up there because their score is not updated, then we're looking at maybe about 3 or 4 spots down.
That'll be a tie.
Yeah, it's at
18.
We do the refresh again, still not updated. That's a good question, though. Do we have any numbers right now that are tying numbers? And I'm not seeing any right now.
Yeah. 21st.
20. I'm sorry, you're right.
782.
Beg your pardon.
If that moves, it could be that goes to a tie. We go 9th, 10th.
Well, if it's the tie for 22nd, we're good. If it's the tie, I'm sorry, for 23rd, we're good. If it's a tie for 24th, yes, then the roll-off does come into play. That's a good question, too, Justin, for if there's a tie for a bye. I would think we would have to have the 9th and 10th roll-off also for that. It should be an all ties broken by the 9th and 10th frame roll-off because obviously you need to know who's going to bowl who. I'm going to hit the refresh button one more time. Come on, people, get them score sheets in now.
Come on, Theo. What are you doing?
He's probably down there doing
He
it.
should be there, right? You can't miss. Well, he had this green hoodie. I don't know if he's.
He's probably down there. Actually, he is down there. Boo-doo, boo. Well, if you joined us, this was a very fun 4-game block. Do-do-do-do-do. Look at Tyler. Fully invested now. He's scrolling.
My man's learning over here. He's like, oh, look at this.
He's trying to
bro.
figure out what he
He's like-
needs to shoot for the next round, which matches might be very impressive right on paper. I truly have enjoyed getting to know individuals who work in the industry or work in some capacity, and they didn't originate in the bowling industry, because I love the non-bowling perspective. And every time it's kind of proof, like once you get into it and you start following along, there is a level of excitement, and you get into it, right? And we just got, as an industry, how do we keep Tyler involved? How do we keep him excited? I'm talking about something completely unrelated to the tournament now, but Tyler was scrolling through, so it hit my brain. It hit my brain. It is updated, Tyler tells me, with the exception of Tim Smith's score, which is important. We need Tim Smith's score. The bowling brother. Gabe Alvarez.
All right, bowlers, I'm waiting on one more score sheets.
Call him.
Mr. Tim Smith.
Come on, Tim.
Last score sheet I'm waiting on. We will begin the first round at 11:30. So you guys.
There it
have
is,
about
folks.
15 minutes
First
for
round,
break.
11:30.
Sorry,
First round,
11:30.
11:30.
I
Match play.
estimate each round is roughly an hour, depending on if matches go 2 or 3.
Tyler's over here
games.
shaking. He's like, oh, there's a lot. This action thing is kind of cool.
Plan accordingly. We will have warm-up pairs on for the top 8 seeds that have a bye. Give me just a minute, and we'll get these final scores and our match play matches announced.
So we do have. Refresh. The number moved.
We're out of the tie zone for the buys as well.
No way. Fitz
With-
Magic is out.
No, we're still waiting on Tim Smith's score.
Yeah, but he's down. He's
Oh,
below
you're
line.
right. Yeah, you're right. So it looks like Fitz was saying, he was the one saying that it's minus 18.
First form bars and sticks out. We sampled pieces of them, but if you would like to grab a bar or stick, we're not taking any of that home. So feel free to help yourself, but leave some for others. Thank you.
Get your first form.
Play nice.
That peanut butter
Ooh, that's yummy.
was very good. Peanut butter protein from first form was good. That's a good idea too, because these rounds in match play,
Say we're talking like 13 minutes.
A little fuel
So
up.
whenever we close out,
Yeah.
we'll have time for a quick little restroom break and refresh some drinks, and we'll be ready to rock again.
all right, we got Tim Smith's score in.
We
and
do?
He is not in there.
Still
And
waiting
so-
for him.
No, he's in now. And
Yes.
He's in 33rd.
Oh,
So let's get you the most recent update. It is going to be minus 18, and the tie for both the bye and 24th is dodged, as the tie is going to be for 23rd. And Gabe Alvarez and Anthony James,
sneaking in.
even with the 5 count on the fill, but the guts to just throw it at the head pin essentially in the final.
And the second
2
one
frames.
was the, huck it at the head pin, and it was the Wally 5.
Pink lives on.
Mr. Pink. Look at that.
So unofficial until it's announced, but minus 18 looks to be the number. Minus 18 looks to be the unofficial cut number to match play. Again, minus 18 unofficial cut number, according to what we see. Again, minus 18 unofficial cut number. Gabe Alvarez, Anthony James, Keith Fung is in unofficially. Brianna Cote hangs on unofficially. Paul Yount. Jonathan Orozco, the 14-year-old. Cortez Shank, Cesar Padilla, Riley Woodard. And here it is.
Our leader was Kyle Troop at plus 120. 2 seed, Josh Kennedy at plus 73. Anthony Simonson is 3 seed at plus 61. 4 seed, Bob White at plus 55. 5 seed at plus 47, Chad Luch. 6 seed plus 44, Wesley Lowe. 7 seed plus 34, Dylan Taylor. Your 8th seed and last one receiving a bye at plus 30, Michael Haugen Jr. Again, we'll have a couple pairs at the higher end for you guys to stay loose during the first round. The remainder of our bowlers that have made match play, the cut number is minus 18. Any ties for seeding goes based on the high game to determine if you're who's the higher seed. So 9th was a tie at plus 28, Jeremy McElliott and Brett Wolf. They both had the same high game, but Jeremy had the high game after that. So Jeremy's 9 seed, Brett Wolf 10 seed, 11 seed Jessica Nosbush, 12 Kyle Duster, 13 Lizzie Reese, 14 Wyatt Trzowski, 15 Landon Carnati, 16 Riley Woodard, 17 Cesar Padilla, 18 Cortez Shank, 19 Jonathan Orozco, 20 Paul Yount, 21 Brianna Cote, 22 Keith Fung, 23 another tie for the last 2 spots, Anthony James with the higher game over Gabe Alvarez, our final cuts.
Talk about consistency.
Working on writing out checks.
Gabe went 195, 195, 196, 196.
Wow, I didn't even notice that.
And who you're up against.
And, you know, because obviously you're talking about the high game thing, and so I was kind of catching who's got what score, and I'm like, oh, Anthony's Pink snuck in a 231 game, but yeah, Gabe's high game was 196, his low game was 195. That's impressive.
And for our purposes, Schlem, tried to quickly double-check the amount of players in this field now who are left for match play who have pins. And I see 3. Bob Wiley, Jessica Noshbush, and Lizzie Reese each have 5 pins a game.
Yep.
With that also said, 3 women advance to the cashers round. All 3 are advancing to match play.
Boom. So what does that mean? All you girls get together, get out here and bowl.
Come bowl.
Come do's it.
Come out and bowl. All right. With that said, we got about 9 minutes. And that's right, Destiny. The Hubs is still bowling. 10K is still within reach here today. And he is going to be bowling in the first round. There'll be, we'll start with a 9 versus 24. Not sure which matches will be where. But we'll have
That's
all
beyond
of that.
our control. Yes.
We'll have all that figured out here in a moment. And I think there's only 2 pairs that that'll be outside of camera range, or maybe 4. I think there's some warm-up pairs somewhere. Figure out where those are.
I think they said to put the warm-up pairs up on the high end.
Okay. So
maybe, or maybe they'll use. They can't put 1 and 2 into play. I don't think.
I don't believe so.
No, looks like
it
looks like 3 and like match-wise. It looks like 3 and we're going 3 through 18.
All right. So what I'm going to do right now is get you the match play link, because that's where we're headed to next. Okay?
That's what we do.
That's where we're going right now, to the match play link. I'm going to give you that. Go there now. Open that up. And we will see you there in just a few minutes. We need to take care of business, get some hydration. I'm going to get myself a protein bar, because it's about that time.
Yeah. Hopefully there's some left.
We'll see you in just a couple minutes.
Oh, we got
folks.
snacks too from Jeff.
Oh, that's right. Jeff and
Coffee.
And Aaron Yamamoto.
Yeah.
We got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
We're good. We're fat. We're fun.
Couple minutes. Be back with you with more. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors. It was a very fun cashers round, but we're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. It's about to go down, like Kevin Hart would say. It's about to go
right
down.
About now. It's going down.
All right. So with that said, go ahead and handle that. All right. We'll give you 1 minute, Mike. Tyler Hemmings Media, Brightside Catering, Of course, Create Proof Print, Travel 24/7, Dude Wipes. Obviously, Carl and Team Agent Ong, my home group. Friggin' Jerk, Fans and Blinds. I'm actually very curious about that company because so many people said it. East Valley, Burke Brothers, TMH, O&B, B3 Performance, Chuck's Painting, Crate Bar, of course, and Jeff Krause, as mentioned. Spartan Plumbing, Swift Home Inspection, Mark Powell, Bowlify, Schroeder Family Electric, of course, Roto Grip, Acclaim Garage Doors. Appreciate it. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Match play time. Thank you to Roto Schlemer. Some very good stuff to you, by the way. Explanations and all of your experience, man, truly coming to play. Really appreciate you being here.
Hopefully it makes some sense to folks.
And hope the viewers certainly learn some things as well. We will try to continue that a little bit. Obviously, as you know now, folks, we're down to
the nitty gritty.
We're down to it. Focus is on
head
bowling.
to head. It's who can, it's a race to two.
And if we get some opportunity and it makes sense and we can explain it and correlate it to what's happening on the lanes, we will do that. With that said, for Chris Schlemer, Carl Long, who joined us briefly, my name is Emil Williams Jr. We're headed to match play. This has been a presentation of the Cashers Round. We'll see you on the other side in just a few minutes here on Bowlstream TV.